Hey girls, I know why you've clicked on this video. It's one of these two things. The first one being, you've probably heard about the concept of being a high value woman through X, through Instagram, through whichever social media platforms you are active on, and you were just simply inspired by it. You looked at how high value women are thriving, not just living their life, and you were inspired to change, you were motivated to change, and that's why you want to understand the first step towards being a high value woman. Or the second thing being that you just want to listen to it and you want to determine whether you are a high value woman or not. Before we dive into the very first step to do that, let me just make it clear that being a high value woman is actually a set of high value characteristics that you get to embody. Like right now, you may be embodying some characteristics of a low value woman, but it's nowhere attached to your self worth, it's nowhere attached to your identity. You are just embodying good characteristics which are going to be better for your own life. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Pranoti. I'm a women's coach. I coach young women with communication, with mental clarity, and with wellness. In this particular video, we'll be breaking down the very first step you can take towards achieving that elevated state, achieving the high frequency vibrations that you can operate from, and what will in fact make you really inspiring. Perhaps even a role model for others around you. To begin with, this would be the first part of the video. We will break it down into three parts as usual. In this first part, let's try to understand what this concept of high value woman is. Imagine you are in a conflict with your girlfriend and things get really bad. She maybe says some things to you that you don't care about me, or you're not giving me enough time, and you are not really giving me what I want through this friendship. You always say no to plans and you never have time to hang out with me, and this fight, this argument is getting really ugly. So you decide to handle it politely, and if it's getting too much, you walk away from it. Here's where we come across the first characteristic of a high value woman, which is self respect. You are not going to apologize for things that you're not sorry for, but you are going to apologize for the things that you are really sorry for, because you are the kind of person who takes accountability. That's when we come to the second characteristic of a high value woman, which is emotional awareness. You have the ability to understand your emotions, and you have the mental maturity to actually accept it, because accepting, taking that accountability, taking that responsibility is what indicates maturity. So yes, you have it. Then the third part being, you know where to set your boundaries, you know what kind of people you want to keep in your life, and you are really selective about it. And it doesn't come from a place of fear of rejection, that you are cutting off people because you're worried that they will reject you, or you are not taking new opportunities because you're worried that you'll get rejected by them or you'll not be successful. But you are just chalking out your boundaries because you don't want those people in your life, or you don't want to do those things in your life, and that's why you've placed that boundary. So that's another characteristic, is you have soft confidence. Now don't get me wrong, soft confidence, but like firm confidence. It's not arrogance. You are just confident in the way you're being, in the way you are reacting. And if you're saying no to someone, if you are saying no to going to a party, if you're saying no to engage in some kind of event or whatever, that's a hard no. No amount of pleading, begging is going to make you change your decision from what you've made. And you're not a people pleaser. You think about yourself, and it's okay. It's not selfish. You are just prioritizing your relationship with yourself rather than looking out for external sources of validation, which is what a lot of people pleasers are doing. And that brings me to one of the other important characteristics of a high value woman. High value women know their worth. She really knows her worth. She doesn't run to external sources completely out of her control and let her emotions depend on those external sources. Oh, so she didn't text me, now my day is going to go bad, or he didn't text me, so I'm going to be in a crappy mood throughout the day. No, that's not how it works for someone who is acting from a place of elevated state, higher vibrations. So now that you probably have a brief understanding of who a high value woman is, don't expect her to be the one who is just showing off her life on reels or shorts, having the perfect aesthetic backgrounds, living the perfect life. There are a lot of stories behind the real life. There's a lot of difference between the real life and the real life. And high value women don't really crave that kind of validation. They inspire those around them. And yeah, another important characteristic is high value women have a growth mindset. If you tell her that she is wrong about something, she will actually take your opinion into consideration. Of course, if you are someone she respects and you are someone who matters to her, like let's say you are her mentor, she will take your opinion into consideration. And if there is actually a space for growth, she will accept it. She'll probably even start taking some steps towards it. So this, I hope, gives you an idea of who a high value woman actually is. So bear with me because this is going to be a slightly longish video. We are coming to the part 2 of how to actually start taking that first step towards being a high value woman. Well, you kind of already have. The fact that you clicked on this video shows that you have those high value characteristics. You have that growth mindset. You have the accountability that you are actually choosing to watch this video, and you are maybe trying to become a better version of yourself. So it's a good thing. A pat on your back for that. Now, this is something that I found which was very useful for me. So this is a practical tip which actually works, and maybe it will work for you too. I know a lot of you will probably not like journaling, but this is a thinking exercise, and for those of you who like to write, I will really recommend you to write it, because these are some questions that you would want to ask yourself today, or whenever you have the time for experiencing that stillness and actually thinking. Give it maybe like 30 minutes or so. It's not that hard. The first question being, what do I actually want? Now, I'm not asking about what you actually want in life. I'm just asking you about your present self. What does your present self want? The second question is, what is draining your present self out? It could be a person, it could be a situation, it could be a job, but understanding the answer to this question will help you understand what is the next action you need to take. So yeah, it's important to ask yourself what is draining you out. The third thing is, what am I tolerating that's beneath me? Maybe you are trying to please someone who is probably not that important to you, but you are anyways trying to please them, and at the end of the day you start feeling guilty about it because you are kind of betraying yourself while doing that. Ask this question. It will help you be really selective about your circle. Then the next question being, what are the lies that I'm telling myself? See, self-honesty is super important because it also helps you become an honest person in real life. As someone who has had her fair share of challenges when it comes to being really straightforward and being really honest, because I was also a big time people pleaser at one point of time. Being honest with yourself, it just makes things really clear for you. And when someone asks you about them, since you are honest to yourself, you know the answer, and your natural tendency becomes that you can't really lie to them. And it's really hard to do that. So be frank with yourself. You deserve that kind of treatment. Imagine that you are in a relationship with yourself. Will you like it if someone breaks your trust? Will you like it if you break your own trust? So yeah, ask yourself, what are the lies that you're telling? And the last question being, what are those negative thoughts or cynical, pessimistic things that you're telling yourself which aren't even true? It could be something like, you look horrible, or you're really bad at your job, or you're really not doing well in life. And we tend to do that sometimes. Let's say, like, if you get into a fight with one of your friends, and they say something to you that you're really mean and this is how you drive people away, it will automatically start that circle, those cycles of self doubt within you. And you'll start asking yourself, oh yeah, I'm really bad, or I'm really mean to others. Whereas it may not actually be true, and that person could just be saying something to you because they were projecting and they were really uncomfortable with the way situation was. For them, where it came from is a completely different question, but for you, you need to understand what is the reality and what are the cynical negative things that you are telling yourself. Then coming to the next thing that you can do is, every morning or every evening, whenever you have time, you should ask yourself that what was the best thing that happened in your day that you really liked it? What was the worst thing that probably made you feel bad, that probably made you feel drained, that probably made you feel that you were not at your best? And the third question being, what can you do to make today better? Or if you're asking yourself the questions in the evening, you can just ask yourself that what's one thing you can do to make tomorrow better? The answer will surprise you. It's pretty direct. The thing with coaching is, we really get to understand that all of the answers that we are searching for are really within ourselves. So yeah, remember that. And as the third part of this video, I'm going to give you some reminders that you can just keep reminding yourself. You can use these points to remind yourself whenever you are thinking that I need to be a high value woman, but I am probably not embodying those characteristics. The first and the very important one being, stop outsourcing validation. It's not a product, it's not a service. You cannot hire someone to give you a validation. Or maybe you can for a significant amount of money. But yeah, that's a joke anyway. Don't outsource validation, because attaching your emotions, your well being to something that is completely external to you and out of your control is like stepping into a disaster where you have no idea what's going to happen the next second. Take that certainty into your hands. Stop doing that. The second point being, start keeping your promises to yourself. If you're saying that I'm going to wake up super early tomorrow and go to the gym, better do that. Or if you're saying something like, I'm going to finish this task before 5 p.m. today, do that. And to do that, you actually have to set realistic goals. Because when you set a goal and you end up accomplishing it, it's like fulfilling a promise to yourself. And when you fulfill multiple promises to yourself, it creates self-trust, which is what I've been talking about in most of my videos. Self-trust is super important to build confidence and ultimately build your personality. The third thing being, your standards should be set from a place of self-respect and not from fear of rejection. Like I was telling you before, if you are saying no to something, make sure that it is out of your selectiveness and it is out of your self-respect that you're saying no to something or someone, and you're not doing it based on some kind of fear of validation. And the last point being, be emotionally regulated. Now I know as women it's super hard because we feel a lot of things. It's like colors, all hues of colors, huge spectrum of emotions throughout the day. We could be extremely happy at one point and extremely sad at another point, but emotional regulation is going to be your power. Nobody's telling you stop feeling things or don't feel things. That will in fact create more problems, so don't do that. But learn to regulate yourself. When something happens or some situation triggers you or someone triggers you, take a moment to yourself to ensure that you're not reacting to it, but you're like giving a response to it, you're responding to it. The difference between the reaction and the response is reaction comes from a place of impulsiveness. It's based on your immediate impulses, which may not always be so balanced and well thought of. And as women who like we let our emotions flow free, it's like a river, no one's going to stop it, and we are going to feel a lot of things when we feel triggered. So take a moment to yourself and give a well thought of response. I hope these reminders will help you become a high value woman every single day. Hope you found this video helpful. Give it a thumbs up and click on that subscribe button and notification bell to stay tuned for the next one. Thanks for watching.